Ready?
And there we are. Welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, the video game music podcast. And we're your hosts. I am Rob Nichols.
And I am Festive. That doesn't rhyme at all. And I am Purnell. There's no word for festive that starts with P. Freaked.
He is dressed as Santa today.
That is true. Ho, 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 and all that rot.
Yeah, and I'm one of his elves. I have to be because I'm shorter than you.
That is true. I was like,
Okay,
I don't recall taking your application for this position.
It was like you went there. Like I had to apply for this position.
You did have to apply.
I thought I just had to be born on the North Pole and be short.
Heavens no, man. There's standards involved here. I can't just have any dolt making my presence. Kids need quality. They expect quality. Would you want a present made by some guy off the street?
No, absolutely not.
If it was rat, but you could see the corner of the box?
Okay. I'll go back to the workshop.
That's right. You go back.
We don't want an increase in pay. We don't want better health benefits. We're going to go back to the shop.
All right, now we're talking.
Okay.
Faster, cheaper.
In case you haven't figured it out by now, we are a video game music podcast in which we talk about video game music and just random other stuff. But today is the holiday show.
Are you ready to get festive?
Are you ready to get festive?
What do you mean you're not? Come on.
I'll tell you what, man. Last weekend was the holiday party. I am holiday partied out.
Yeah, see, because he was the host. I was the guest, so I got drunk and hung out with everybody.
Yeah,
and
I was
cool
like,
games.
you just come over here, you drink all the booze.
Honestly, I have no qualms with
My
that.
family entertains you. I know that.
That is also true. It's a give and take relationship thing.
It was a good time. I did have a good time. I'm kind of wiped out from the partiness. So, but yeah. So as this episode comes out, I hope you had a nice holiday, and New Year's is coming up.
Yep. Who's ready to sleep?
Totally.
That would be me. I'm going to be knocked out 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so this week on the show, so last year we did the 16-bit Christmas, which was actually like episode 6 or something.
It was early on, but it was still a pretty solid product, I think.
Yeah, so this year it's going to be, I don't know, the 30... Oh, we call it the 32X... I remember now, it was called the Sega 32Xmas.
Yes! Winter Wonderland edition.
Or whatever you celebrate, but this is like, it's a festive holiday wintry time. So we're going to play some fun wintry nostalgia-inducing kind of tracks.
I'm game for that. I'm ready to go. I got some tunes picked out. I use it as a good excuse to throw one track in there in particular. And hey, I was geeked for this.
All right, I'm going to start it off with...
So you got to admit, though.
Oh, what?
I was thinking about it, actually, when we were picking these tracks. If we end up getting, like, heaven forbid, Winter Wonderland fourth mix, it's going to be like, well, I got that,
Oh, I love that fourth mix.
It's going to be, I just heard this commercial on TV, and I just got to recorded it and assumed it could be in a video game. It's going to get weirder and weirder.
There's plenty of game music. But, as far as, like,
Specifically winter, like for wintry or Christmassy.
Wait, did we do, like, an Ice and Snow Levels episode?
That was kind of what we did for the holiday one, actually.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're doing again. So on that tip, my whole set today is Famicom. So my first track is from the game Morio Senki Madara.
He loves that game!
Love that. I love that game soundtrack.
It is a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I have some really interesting ones. So it's from Morio Senki Madara for the Famicom, and the track is called Snow Island. we're back. You're listening to Snow Island from the game Morio Senki Madara for the Famicom by Tapi Iwise, Miki Higashino, Hirofumi Taniguchi, and Akihata. And I picked this track because it's very like it sounds to me like a snowstorm, like you're inside looking out at a really bad snowstorm.
I don't know. I thought when you were going in the snowstorm, I took it the other way. Like I thought you were going to say you're kind of in a snowstorm and you're trying to find your way out. He was manipulating the boom mic or the mic lever. So
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was like, this isn't on your face. I'm gonna move it. Boop, boop. So you were talking about snow.
Yes. Thankfully, we don't have any of that right now. But I was thinking about the exact opposite, actually, like being kind of in a snowstorm, trying to find your way out of it. But not.
No, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like do 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 do.
It does have a very mysterious kind of sound to it, and I always thought like the little backing track sounds like a Castlevania track.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
I've been listening to a lot of Castlevania in the last couple of days to hours.
Yes.
And I guess I can kind of see it.
A little bit like older school.
Yeah, the older ones for sure, but the
Yeah.
later ones, they got away from that sound, unfortunately. Or forced it, depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I can definitely see it from some of the older ones. But, oh, no, that was a solid pick there.
Thank you.
And it doesn't make me want it to snow any more than I wanted it prior, though, mind you. I will say that.
No, well, Morio Senki Madara is based on a horror anime, or it's a horror style. It's in the horror genre, so it's supposed to be scary.
God, now we're talking about something else I've been reading up on a little bit lately. Japanese horror stuffs.
Oh. Well, now is a good time to talk about it. Well, we're listening to Japanese horror game music, right?
Yeah, it's like there's this person, I guess some listeners have probably heard of her before, like Junji Ito or something. And I don't know why I thought of her recently, but I started reading up a bunch of her works, like a character named Tomoe or something. And the idea is that it's a girl who is, just by being around people, she kind of drives them a little bit on the insane side. They become obsessed with her, and then eventually they try to kill her.
Oh my
and
God.
they do kill her.
Okay.
But then when she dies, her cells have this weird way of they split, and they can form a completely new body. So she has been clones of herself over the years as she's driven people mad. They kill her. She comes back to life and does it, and she splits like an atom, atom.
Wow.
It becomes two every time. So or something like that. So it's like she'll go somewhere else and live, and then someone will go crazy and kill her. And it's like a really weird concept for horror, honestly.
Yeah, that's really bizarre. I think it follows that same kind of horror idea of like everything is the same, everything is normal, but it's not. And so, like, there's something different, but it's not but you don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can say it's kind of like how it is with that. Like, if you didn't, until you get to the actual end part, it's like, I don't know what's so special about this. She's just a girl that this guy is really getting into for some reason. He doesn't get it. And it turns out, well, because she's weird. She's a weird Japanese horror character. There's no explanation for what she is or why.
Like, it's another week we're getting together to record the show, but, like, what if I'm not really Rob? But you don't know that, but in the back of your mind...
Well, you still have good taste in booze, so you're okay with me, Rob Clune.
It's all yours. All right, what's your first track?
All right,
let's get that was some Christmas cheer in your glass.
That's right.
Right.
The taste of mint and julep. Basically, the first track I'm going to pick is one that I can't think of too many other reasons I would ever pick this track. So, again, this episode is the perfect excuse to do so.
All right, that's what you got.
It's from the game James Pond 2, codename Robocod.
Oh, my God.
And the track is called Castellations.
Yes.
And it's written and composed by a guy that goes by the name of Richard Joseph.
Okay, let's check it out.
Welcome back. You are listening to the track Castellations from
Crack
the game.
Jingle Bells.
The
The track is called Jingle Bells. Purnell.
He's fun.
Damn it, Purnell.
Hey, Robocon. Written and composed by Richard Joseph. All right. First of all, the game does have other tracks. Tracks that are not obviously, public domain songs. But I could not do a Christmas episode at this point and not include this track. It's just there. It had to be done.
Okay, so James Pond is a super secret agent fish. Mm-hmm. And he hunts down Santa Claus in the Arctic and pulls him underwater.
Hey, whoa. Let's not go nuts there.
Well, he's not
a
fish.
He's not a murderer, man.
But he's a fish. He doesn't know.
He's not a fish. He's a robocod.
Is there a fish Claus?
No, it's Santa Claus. And he does go to the North Pole to rescue him from Dr. Maybe. And he has an extendable torso.
That's cool, though.
It's an actually surprisingly cool game. When we first started, right before the episode started, Rob and I were talking general shop, and the topic of cheap games came up. And I was talking about how my dad would never buy us games except for the rare time where we would guilt him into it. But whenever he did it, the game couldn't sell for more than $20. The game cost more than 20, he wasn't doing it, which meant I was exposed to a lot of games that I would have never played otherwise because there's no reason I would have even picked them up. And this is one of them. A game that I really enjoyed, played to completion, and finished it. But, oh god, I would not have played otherwise. But so times like that, I'm glad I got the discount option. But yeah, he's a robotic fish who is a secret agent who goes to the North Pole.
I'm on board.
Santa's workshop
100%.
to save Santa Claus and Christmas from the evil Dr. Maybe.
So that's canon?
It's canon. The official James Pond storyline. He does go to the North Pole.
Wait,
he does prove Santa Claus is real.
Is this part of
Santa Claus is real?
Not just part of the game. Yeah, totally. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're messing with you.
They're liars.
But is that the whole game? Is the whole game lead up to James Pond finding Santa, or is it just...
That's the whole game. The entire game takes place in Santa's workshop.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
It's a bunch of different sections.
I didn't even know that.
It's a huge facility. And there are boss toy generals.
You think I would know that as an official elf?
You should. That's why you need... now you know why I didn't hire you, right? If you don't understand the intricacies of the James Pond universe, clearly you have no place in my workshop.
Oh, man.
Just saying. I take you back to school.
It's how I eat candy canes, isn't it? You don't like the way I eat my candy cane.
That is true. You're not. You bite them. You're terrible at eating candy canes too, and you only eat the peppermint ones. There's so many other flavors out there.
I know. But really, who cares? Who cares about the other flavors, Purnell?
A real elf. That's who. Real elves care.
All right, fine. Fine.
But yeah, honestly, deep down, I think you mentioned earlier this actually was an Amiga game, and I knew it was at least on PC in some shape or form before it hit your Genesis. It's a surprisingly fun game and worth checking out if you can get your hands on it, whether through emulator or, heaven forbid, the card is still out there somewhere. But I enjoyed it, played it to completion, and I'd play it again today if I had access to it.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do that sometime.
That's right. Show who the real secret agents are in this room.
Yeah.
You a bad enough dude to save Santa Claus?
I like that. Bad Santas? Oh, man, that's already a thing. Forget it. Anyway, I'm moving on to my next track. My next track is from a game we haven't played before, but has a very famous soundtrack. This is from the game Lagrange Point for the Famicom. And this track is called Relaxed Atmosphere in the Relaxation Room. Or I guess it's in the Relaxation Room part of the game. It's by Akio Dobashi, Noriyuki Takahashi, Katsuhiko Suzuki, and Atsushi Fujio. Again, this is from the game Lagrange Point. Enjoy. And we're back. You're listening to the Relaxed Atmosphere Relaxation Room from the game Lagrange Point for the Famicom by Akio Dobashi, Noriyuki Takahashi, Katsuhiko Suzuki, and Atsushi Fujio. And this has a really interesting history in that Konami produced a really specific sound chip for this cartridge. So it's a full FM synthesizer chip inside this game that doesn't really exist in any other game.
So no other game used this chip at any point?
No.
Ever?
Ever.
That probably explains a lot then, because I know that I've never played the game myself, but I do know of a couple RPG enthusiast friends who talk about how sought after this game actually is.
Yeah, it's one of those rarities. But yeah, anyway, this track to me actually sounds like a Christmas song, you know?
I could definitely at least see it from like the holiday room atmosphere, like a bunch of people sitting around drinking tea, and this music just kind of playing over the over the environment as people sit there and like, hey, so are you ready for the holidays? Yeah, it's tea. I too am ready for the holidays. But like, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see this being a good sit around by the fire, have a discussion type tune.
It's kind of slow. It's kind of lazy. It's nice. It's not like happy and fun like Jingle Bells.
Hey, look, James Pine knows how to party. Okay, it's not his fault you can't understand the wonder and magic of Jingle Bell medleys.
But I think I'll be picking from this game more in the future because I haven't really looked through it so much, and so now going through it now, I'm like, oh, there's some really good tracks in here. So this sounded to me the most Christmassy kind of atmospheric kind of tune there is on there.
I'm going to assume it has an English patch only because of the fact that, again, people seem to apparently are looking for it in the States as a collector's sort. So
yeah, I can't.
Maybe I can locate it and give it a go.
I can't speak to that, but yeah.
Or could you?
All right, what's your next track there?
All right, so the next track, after a lot of deliberation and contemplation,
okay,
it's from the game Secret of Mana.
Oh, cool.
And the track is simply called "A Wish," and it is composed by Hiroki Kikuta. Hey, wake up! If you have not fallen asleep, you are listening to A Wish from the game Secret of Mana.
This is a great pick.
It's definitely a good choice. It's just, I can see people who are like, man, I'm tired. And now this track just happened to come on, and I'm not feeling so awake right now. Wake up! But, one, the track itself is pretty good from a really good game. For the one listener out there that does not know what Secret of Mana is, please pick it up. It's on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't think there's one bad track. Like you were saying, like there's like not one bad track on this whole soundtrack.
There really isn't. It's just a superb product from the house of Squaresoft. That's where that says Squaresoft.
Yeah. You picked a really good one here, though. This is really well put together. Like it doesn't even. It definitely sounds like it's on Super Nintendo, but the way it's composed and like put together, it sounds so much more than that.
And there's another reason why I picked this track too. Probably one of the most bizarro cameos in the game that I could think of. Well, if I'm going solely by memory here, so if anybody wants to call me out on it, feel free. Basically, you are the main point of the game. You're of course going out and you're awakening mana seeds by charging them with your sword or whatever. You're powering your sword with the mana seeds. And one of the locations is Ice Country. And there's an ice palace that you have to journey through. This music plays while you're in Ice Country and in the Ice Palace. And the last boss of that dungeon is some like a weird like troll frosty thing, like Frostman or something, Frost Beast, some giant like ogre thing. And when you beat him, he turns into Santa Claus.
Really?
Yes, he turns into Santa Claus, and I remember this because of how absurd it was, even at that age. The Frost guy, was it Frost? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I remember. It's Frost Gigas. Frost Gigas.
Gigas or Gigas or Gugus.
That was his name.
You defeat the Frost Gugus.
You beat the Gugus, get the googly muggly. But when you beat him, it turns out that the reason why he became Santa, or became a Frost Gigas, is because children stopped believing in him. I can't make that up, actually.
Well, I quickly have like a wiki over here, and it says that the town is full of walrus people and Santa Claus.
So there you go.
Walrus people?
Oh, this time I thought he hung out with elves. Lo and behold, no.
No, you don't like my friends. You don't even like me, and you don't like my friends, the walruses.
Hey, I think you're a stand-up guy, Mr. Rob. I think you're a stand-up gent, and I'm sure your friends are quality people too. But you're just really poor elves. And quite frankly, liking you doesn't mean I'm going to employ you in my workshop. That's right.
I'm going to get this job by the end of the show.
Very possibly. Bake me cookies. We'll talk.
All right, we'll get you some cookies. I'm going to bake them in my awesome video game music oven.
Easy baked chip tune.
This next track is so hot, it's going to cook the cookies.
Will it be chocolate chip tune cookies?
No, but it's different. It's from the game Mother, again from the Famicom. This is the first Earthbound game.
Was it just called Mother?
Just Mother.
Yes, the first one.
All right. And the track is called Snowman by Keiichi Suzuki and Hirokazu Tanaka. And we're back. You're listening to Snowman from the game Mother for the Famicom by Keiichi Suzuki and Hirokazu Tanaka. I love this song. This whole soundtrack is awesome, but this is a really cool song.
It is a really cool song. Though it's kind of funny, you're hearing this music and then you end up like getting into a battle with like a diuretic walrus or something.
There's some weird enemies in this game, definitely.
Oh yeah, like I'm pretty the monster I made. I just said I honestly just made up. But seriously, it would not be odd to find a diuretic walrus running around in Mother 2 or Mother 3 for that matter.
But this is definitely cool. I love how, like, even with the NES hardware, which isn't like super, there's only there's only 4 voices, but they're still able to make those little plinky sounds, which are coming up right here. Here it comes. That's so nice. I love when they can do like a little bit of an echo, like they kind of like mirror like from one channel to the next to make this little echoey sound. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the track. I also feel like it's interesting. This is like maybe the first episode I think where aside from my first track, every track we've picked has been pretty light and mellow.
Yeah,
and very snowy.
I feel like this time of year is like a time for people to feel like nostalgic about maybe their childhood or just about other Christmases they've had in the past. It's just you think about it and very time to reflect on the year also, on the year past.
Oh, that is very true. Unfortunately, in my case, that reflection stems around writing up a list of the games I've bought over the last year.
Oh, no.
And it gets absurd.
Oh, no.
But, hey, reflection! I get to think back on the previous days. The shrink wrap children. The shrink wrap.
Was it Gigawing 2?
Sparkle Bomb.
Reflect Force! Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Only one I really remember was Spark Bomb.
Spark Bomb? Yeah, he was good.
And that was the one that was the funniest to say. Sparkle Bomb.
So Jingle Bells 2 is a top-down, a vertical shooter for the Dreamcast, in which, in the Japanese version, everyone just screamed their attacks, like every attack, and you would do these attacks over and over, and it was a 4-player game.
But it was spectacular in the sense that you'd be fighting bosses and everybody's just unloading their supers at once.
And everyone's unloading, like, just their lungs of just, like, screaming.
Reflect the spark of bomb.
That game had so much voice acting in it. Even in the cutscenes in between stages and at the end, it was just, like, hours and hours of dialogue.
And it wasn't Treasure, though. That was a different studio, wasn't it? Was it Cave? No, Giggly wasn't Cave.
No, it wasn't Cave.
Sikio?
Might have been Sikio. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look that one up. But no,
we're really bad at this nostalgia thing.
We're really bad about talking about the game that's playing on this episode.
Well, think about it, like, I don't know a great deal about the original Mother. Like, I played Earthbound, and I started Mother twice.
I started Earthbound twice.
No, you started Earthbound
I did,
twice.
yeah. I know.
You didn't finish. That game is the sweetness.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, this game, I mean, having played Earthbound and then going back to it years later after when the fan translation first came out, it felt very, very similar to actually playing Earthbound. Like, the main character looks identical to Ness. I think you fight some of the same enemies at the beginning of the game, like crows. But the battle music is awesome. And you fight a Mack truck really early on, which is bizarre.
That's awesome. I love that.
And
it's like, I remember in Final Fantasy VI where you have to fight the Ghost Train.
Yes, and you suplex it.
Yeah, you use suplex on the Ghost Train. That's the best.
It's such an awesome game.
Body slam the train.
Now remember, the first enemy you fight in Mother is a lamp. It's a living lamp. You're just in your bedroom, and you go to the door, and the lamp attacks you. There's no reason, no explanation or anything. Just a lamp attacks you.
I like that.
And it's still awesome. But it's just a great game, and you travel around. God, I remember so little about it. You get psychic powers. You have to gather your friends. But whereas Earthbound kind of set up a whole narrative, so you kind of followed along, this was the classic Nintendo style game where I'm pretty sure they told you the majority of the early plot in the manual, and then you just kind of went around and did stuff.
Yeah. Like I know what you mean. Like a lot of those, like you have to know, if you read the manual, you know the story and kind of what to do, but otherwise you're completely lost.
The one thing I do remember liking about the game for some bizarre reason, I don't know why it happens in the game particularly, but one of the fated heroes is a nerd, and you meet him by going to the top of an elementary school, and he's hiding in a trash can.
Huh.
So you have to inspect the trash can, and then he's inside talking to you, and I can't remember whether you have to give him a bottle rocket or just say, hey, man, cool glasses or something like that, but one of those things, he leaves the trash can, he's like, hey, you want to be friends? And you go, sure. And then you immediately travel to a candy factory up north to find more bottle rockets.
That's awesome.
And fight weird monsters. But it's such a great game. And the battle system's fun. It's classic Dragon Warrior style with the word smash written out whenever you actually hit a critical.
That's awesome.
So it's just an awesome game, and one I'd recommend you play even because I think it's pretty short if you actually sit through the thing.
Yeah, I just need to sit through them. One thing I will do eventually
is sit.
I will sit. Yeah. So that's wait, you have one last track, right?
I do.
Don't
forget my last track.
I almost did. So what's your last track?
Another case of a track where I'm not going to pick it on any episode but this episode, to be honest with you. So I'll take the opportunity when I can get it.
It's Joy to the World.
No, it's
Rudolph got ran over
by a reindeer.
Rudolph got ran over.
Rudolph done got.
Rudolph got again on the reindeer train.
Nah, not
Rudolph
that.
got suplexed.
By a martial artist. By a 16-bit martial artist.
Right.
Nah. This track is from an oft unknown game by many, but it was pretty surprising when it first dropped on the scene.
Okay.
And that game is Christmas Nights. And the track is called Jack Frost's Chime. It's composed by Tomoko Sasaki and Naofumi Hataya. Welcome back, guys. You are listening to an old favorite of mine,
I'm jamming out to it.
a game called Christmas Nights, track called Jack Frost's Chime, composed by Tomoko Sasaki and Naofumi Hataya.
And I love Tomoko Sasaki because she did the music to Rice Star, one of my absolute favorite soundtracks.
Such a good track.
This is great. This is really, really fun.
And the game and the track, for that matter, literally came out of nowhere. For those not aware, there was a game back in, I'd say, 1996 on the Saturn called Nights into Dreams. It was Sega's attempt to combat the recent hit of PlayStation Love and the crazy graphic technology that were getting pumped out of the Super Nintendo and the soon-to-be-released N64.
I remember when it came out, it was a big deal because of the analog joystick that you used to play it, right?
Exactly
Now,
right.
Was that developed for this game almost specifically?
Yeah, because the idea was Mario 64 was right around the corner, and Nintendo was piping up the idea of like, hey, you know, with this game, now going forward, you'll be playing 3D games. You can run around, do whatever you want. So they're like, well, we have this 3D control pad. We can do it too. And they released this game, which, while it wasn't much as far as competing with Mario 64 as a game on its own, not being compared to other games, it was really freaking good.
So what's different about, like, why was there a Christmas Nights?
So what ends up happening is, I don't remember if it was the same year, if it was 96 or 97, but that December issue of Game Fan magazine, is it a Game Fan or EGM? Either way, they used to they had a pack-in disc, and on that pack-in disc was Christmas Nights, and no one expected it until the disc showed up at their door. What they did was, I guess it was just like a, hey, we love you guys, and here's a cool present. It was Sega basically redid the first level of Nights into Dreams, basically Spring Valley, and turned it into this festive Christmas environment. They redecorated the entire level. They added new music, redid a lot of the art, and changed. It just was a really awesome thing. And they had these like side items called like presents, where you could unlock different things in the game, like sound test modes. You could unlock Sonic to use in the game at some point. A lot of really cool stuff that they just did for the hell of it, just for people to say, hey, look at this cool thing I got.
That's super awesome that they just released it for the fans.
Yeah, and I mean, for it only being one level of a game and a boss fight, I played it quite a bit. Like, it was addictive. And I could picture people who didn't have Nights into Dreams playing it even more. Just because it's like, that's the only exposure to the gameplay itself. And the gameplay in the Nights series, in the Nights game, was really fun. But yeah, I mean, I have still to this day have tons of fond memories of this game because some companies, I will admit, there have been a rare case where a company will say, here's this cool thing for Christmas, but I don't think there's been anything that really topped getting a full mock-up of a game for free from a company that was never sold retail.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So would you say that this game is difficult to find now, or it's like rare, or what's up?
Admittedly, I've never tried to look. Like, I just have my original purchase, so I don't know if it's a rarity or not.
Oh, interesting.
But I could picture it being a rarity only because, again, it was printed with a magazine subscription. So, basically, if you had it... I mean, don't get me wrong, you didn't have to have the subscription. You can go to the store. I think you could go to the newsstand and get it that month, too. But, nonetheless, only as many issues of that magazine got printed as that's how many copies of this disc exist.
Wow, yeah.
So, it could be rare. But one way or another, if you got a Saturn or a Saturn emulator and you've never played Christmas Nights, it's maybe worth your time to pick it up.
Yeah, I've never played those Nights games ever. I've heard about them and I've seen things of them, but like not really enough to really know what it was all about.
It could be something to play one day then, because I still own the original disc, and I own Journey of Dreams too on the Wii. A lot of people didn't like that game. I was just like, hey, more Nights, I'll play it.
Yeah, it's cool that they came back to it after such a long time.
Yeah, it was a while. I think it was like 10 years later that they released Journey of Dreams.
Yeah, wow. Sega, as a Sega-centric game on a Nintendo system.
Yeah, that was at the point where everyone was just... I think we had already passed the surprise of seeing Sonic games hit the Wii after we played Sonic and the Secret Rings. I think this was also even after Sonic and the Black Knight. But, yeah, at this point, people were just like, hey, whoa, Nights is back. I'll play that. Some of us did, anyway.
Well, check this out. I'm going to bring this track down, all the way down. Because we're going to get into the part of the show that we like to call the bonus round.
Bonus round, bonus round, bonus all around.
God.
Music jammed in your ears. Until you take a nap. I don't know.
There you go. There you have it. That's the bonus round. Good night, everybody.
Gotta go.
So for on this part of the show, we usually play remixes and covers based on today's theme. I thought this year, we could pick out tracks as presents to each other.
He said this to me, and I was quite shocked and very much unprepared. But I dug deep. And by dug deep, I mean I scrambled like any man on the day before Christmas and found him a present.
Yeah, but I did the exact same thing. So my present to you, Purnell, is from the Megas.
Oh.
And the track is called Gemini. Gemini.
Mm,
and you'll hear what it means. It's supposed to be like a private, like a detective, private eye.
Gemini.
Gemini.
Wonderful.
It's from History Repeating Part Red. Came out a couple years ago, and it's from the Megas. So I hope you enjoy it.
I don't know yet.
I'm going to let you open this one up early.
I'm going to scrutinize so hard.
It's a cool song. I think you'll dig it.
Okay.
Stars are up tonight, shining bright. My sun is up in the sky. I think I need a private eye. Gemini, someone wants me dead. That's what you said. So I called on you. What can I do? Learn his name, pick apart the clues. Your back, you'll make up for what I lack. My private eye, we're never gonna make it. Look to the sky, someone is out to get paid. Gemini, I've had all I can take. I think it's time I go my separate ways. When I close my eyes, I'm stepping back. Speak for me, everything goes black. Gemini, how could I be so blind? You see, we're like in mind, but it's getting lost with the more you find. I forget my name. It's all the same. So I'm taking yours. We're trapped in here, someone lock the door. My private eye, never gonna make it. Up to the sky, someone is out to get me. Gemini, I've had all I can take. I think it's time I go my separate ways. The clues had led us to a dead end. How dead, we would soon see. There was a sound as the door locked behind us. We were trapped, and the Gemini was anything but surprised. The night was seeming to stretch on forever, and for us, it would. This was the end. And now the gloves were off. The truth was out. The hired gun was on his way, and we were both as good as dead. But I looked to the stars, and I swore if we were both taking the big sleep, I'd take the rat out myself.
Yeah, I know you like that one, Pernell.
I actually did enjoy that very much, which is a surprise that I had never heard it before, because I do know of the Megas, but I've never heard that track before.
Yeah, so that was off of their Mega Man 3 album, History Repeating, and that was from the second part of that as a two-part album. This was the Proto Man album, Red.
I especially appreciate the fact that this was from a far superior Mega Man 3 and not that overhyped Mega Man 2. Ha ha ha.
But I'll say both of those Mega's albums are really good. This one is really, really higher. I think it's a much higher concept album, and I really like it. And I knew that this track would be total Pernell because it's got that swing beat, it's got the heavy guitar, it's got really cool, like,
well, I was
cool
twirling to it. I was twisting, shouting a bit.
Yeah, every time this comes up, like when I'm listening to it, like I'm at work or something, I'm like, yeah, I can see you dancing to this track.
And I did. I was doing the swing dance.
Yeah, you're doing that Pernell two-step.
That's right. From the chair.
the chair two-step.
Chair Tootsie. But like it was definitely a good track. That was an excellent selection, good sir.
Thank you.
Mine, on the other hand, I can't speak for how well you will take it, but I did a gamble and went with the best. I figured this guy likes Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And not necessarily your favorite, but definitely one of your recent favorites is Cammy.
Yes.
And I know you like hip-hop, so I was like, maybe there's a decent hip-hop remix of Cammy's Street Fighter theme out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I listened to a number of different tracks.
Okay.
And I feel like this was my favorite of the ones I heard. It's by a guy. I might have to do some research more on him later because I could not find an artist page or anything. He only seemed to function on the YouTube space. He goes by his handle on the thing is Doghouse TV, but his username is Deuce 61 grams.
Okay.
And the track it doesn't have a name. It's just hip hop remix or hip hop beat to Cammy's theme. That's all it is. But it's really good.
All right, let's check it out. thank you very much.
See, I dug real deep for that when I was like, I went outside of my realm and all ends of the spectrum.
You
there.
did, yeah. Like, this is stuff I'm usually like, like slogging through on YouTube and SoundCloud. So I'm like, I really appreciate this, man. Thank you.
Not a problem. Glad you liked it.
So we did some real research on while this track was playing to figure out who exactly made this tune.
Yeah, because honestly, everything I was looking for was like, there was a lot of like, nebulous links that I was coming across. Like, well, I'm not clicking those without being on something that's virus blocked. But
it's tough on YouTube. A lot of people will just, you're not sure if they're reposting something or it's just a repost from something else that they've done, so they don't really leave a whole lot of personal information. Mm-hmm. So I believe his name is Deuce Rell. That's all I know, and it's from Doghouse Studios. And he does a bunch of freestyling over other stuff and makes his own beats. And you know what? He did a really good, chill remix of Cammy's theme.
Yes, he did. I was banging on this. There were other tracks that had a lot more hits. But this one,
yeah, no,
I like this one much more.
I liked it a lot. So for more information on the tracks and artists featured on the bonus round part of the show, check out rhythmandpixels.com, and we'll have links to, if we can find their links to whatever else they have, so you can go out and check out their music and see what else they're doing. Thank you for joining us today on the Rhythm and Pixels Video Game Music Podcast. Our salute to this time of the year. The holiday, Christmassy, New Year's, all those things.
So freaking frosty.
Frosty, super frosty time of the year. Oh my God.
So chill, all salt.
I love that. All chill, all salt.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. This is a perfect track to go out on. I'm surprised we didn't play this during the show.
Honestly, if we do this episode next year, I may just throw it in there to say, look, now you can hear the full track on the show, because it really is that good. They did a ridiculously good job with the Mario 3D World soundtrack. And I need to come up with more excuses to play Mario 3D World tracks on the show.
Yeah, this is really, really good. I love all these instruments.
They had an orchestra do it, I believe.
It's really good.
And you'll see, maybe later on, just like sit down and listen to like all of them. Like, you'll see that the soundtrack, I hated the new Super Mario Brothers OSTs. Did not like them much at all. This, to me, I'm sure Koji Kondo did them, but this, to me, brought Koji Kondo back out of the doghouse that I put him in when New Mario Brothers 1 came out. So, all these are just superb tracks.
Nice.
All of them. So, glad we could be able to squeeze one in before the episode concluded.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Next week we're going to have one more composer focus before we get into some other randomness. So look out for that. We're not going to announce that just yet until maybe a couple days before the show. But if you have any suggestions for other topics or have any questions or just anything you want to say to us, please send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
Nice. And for a full track listing and for more information about the show, go to the website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
Yeah, I'm always doing a little extra updates to the show and doing a few things to it. So, yeah. So check back there every once in a while, even if you're not downloading the show from the website, just because I'm kind of changing things around, moving things, doing some new things to the site.
Doing what he do.
Just doing what I do. You know what? I'm just doing what I do.
See, I gotta tell you, you make a piss poor elf. You should make a fantastic web host.
There you go. I can do the Santa cast.
There you go.
Yes, I got in.
Yeah, but then
I'm in.
For now, we got evaluation time is coming up.
I'm in. Move in on him. Like SWAT team. Arr, get him.
I run a wholesome workshop here. I don't know what the big idea is.
I don't think you're paying these elves.
Oh, I pay them well above their candy grade.
I love like this little happy music in the background.
I don't run a sweatshop.
Anyway, you can also check us out on other social media platforms. Check out on Instagram, Twitter, And we're also doing extra things on YouTube at Rhythm and Pixels. Just type us in Google and we'll come up in all those places right there. Also check out patreon.com if you feel like, being generous this time of year and giving us a little support. We'd really appreciate it.
And if you say Rhythm and Pixels in front of a mirror 3 times real fast, you might hear a special jingle on your left right lobe.
I love that. Rhythm and Pixels, Rhythm and Pixels, Rhythm and Pixels. It's showtime.
Woo! Who's ready for a little video magic?
All right, I think that's a good time to call it quits. We're going to end on a high note. Anyway, thank you for listening. This is the Rhythm and Pixels Video Game Music Podcast. I'm Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Have a great week.
And remember, though you probably have already listened to this episode. Christmas will be over by the time this episode gets to you. But nonetheless, this is still the holiday season. It is an interesting time of the year for a lot of people. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Drunkardus, whatever one you do, Krampus, Grumpus, anything. Remember that overall the gist of the season is about being kind to each other, being thankful for what we have and happy for what we have, and just pretty much being appreciative of family and friends and material possessions. But you always got to remember that even though you are doing that, there are some people who don't necessarily have those things that may be in your life. And if you do know such a person, look out for them too. They're good people. And sometimes the poke in the back or the ice cream cake to the face, any number of things that you can do to liven up their day can go a long way to both making them feel happy and also kind of push them through a little bit of the seasonal depression that kicks in every once in a while too. So be thankful for what you are, for who you have, and also look out for your fellow man. That's what it's all about, folks. Have a good night.